betting that they were actually carrying advertising on all the stations.
And we're streaming.
Are we?
Like I said,
Are we
I
really?
won't be here real long.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe?
Oh, I'm going to a block party, I guess.
I would block that sort of thing myself.
Doesn't exactly sound like my idea of fun either.
I invited our new audio engineer.
Oh, Rio's coming in.
I invited her.
Alzi.
She hasn't answered me.
Alzi should jump on. You should invite Alzi.
I don't know what's going on with Norbert.
And we usually get
Maybe he's pod fading.
Feels
that
like
other
it.
Eastern European. What's his name?
Other Eastern European.
Londoner?
No, he's not Eastern Europe. He's kind of South
neither
Africa.
Neither is Nashant.
No, but there's what's our listener that comes in so many times on the podcast? Yeah,
Respawn.
Respawn. Yeah, Respawn. That's it. Sounded like you said bleach blonde. I go, you know something I don't?
No. Oh, man.
But yeah, he's
oh gosh, I don't remember. We did ask at one point. I do remember that, but I don't remember what he said. He's he's in the live chat. Me, Respawn. He must have been screaming at the computer when we were trying to think of his name. Yeah, he's there. Good evening, me, Respawn. That is me. Yeah. His name is Marco Sayek. Did I say that right? Sayek. Yeah. Sayich. Okay. It's a J. It's a. All right. No way. Retro Arch. What's that based on, Debian? Oh, okay. I thought that there was a Raspberry Pi distro that was that. Oh, Batacera, that's the one. Retro Parts, that's it. Yeah. Do I've had some problems with like Audacity. I had that scroll bar problem you had that popped up on the new version. The flat package just broke. So I went with the app image, and that was working fine if you don't mind not having any theming whatsoever. It's but it's up to date, and it was working fine until last night when I was making that video, um, which I expect commentary on, by the way. The I literally had to teach myself to do it and then make the video, so that was quite a journey for me. Well, she hasn't answered me yet. What are you guys talking about? Who said what when? What are you talking about? Excellent. That might have been sarcasm. That would be my guess. Hey, Respawn. Yeah, it is what it is. All right. Well, I guess we. I started listening to her to 397, and it started right off with you announcing, and I thought, oh crap, she forgot the theme music. And then, but no, what she did was she put the introduction, and then she played the theme music, and I love it. It sounds great. Yeah, yeah, give it a listen. It just kind of mixed it up a little bit, and I thought it was great. Oh, gee whiz. That's that thing that we. Mm, they sell everything in there. It's my boy's favorite store. All right, we'll see you. I don't think we're getting any audio. Hold on. Let me fix this. Huh.
Marco, how do you pronounce your last name?
States.
States?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it, Bill.
Yeah, I guess so. Audio. Say something again.
Something again.
See, I just...
Yeah, it works.
Okay, because... Yeah, OBS. I had it set to the desktop audio, and I was getting nothing on the meter when you guys were talking. So I set it. I switched it to another input, and then I switched it back to default, and now it's working. And
Yay!
This is a flat pack. I'm getting a little... These are the things that make me go back to Arch every time, is these having to jump through these hoops to get these apps up to date, but yet still working. You know.
Mint is going on 21.1 sometime about Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just... In order to... I have to use the flat pack of OBS because the repo version does not have the browser extension installed with it. And I haven't worked out how to just install that, which is what you need. The browser extension is what you need in order to hook Video Ninja, which is the software that we use to create the video stream for the actual show.
Mm-hmm.
And OBS and Audacity are two of the most important pieces of software that we use for this show.
Really? I don't know. I don't know if I can live with 3.2. Sooner or later, they're going to move us to it anyhow.
Oh, it's 3.21 now.
Let
me see. Actually, no, I might be wrong. Hold on.
Without that scroll bar, I can't use it.
Well, it works on the... You got the scroll bar on the... I'll tell you what happened. I didn't have the scroll bar, so I restarted the app, re-imported the audio, and the scroll bar appeared. So that was strange.
Joe's back.
Yeah, evidently I have a few more minutes.
Ah.
Yeah, it's 3-2-1 now on the...
0.
3-2-1 on the app image, which I want to see if it gives me that problem again with the scroll bar. I'm going to import something.
Well, I might just set an app hold on it. App mark hold.
I don't think you're going to get... If you installed the repo version, I don't think you're going to get 3.1.3 for any time soon.
Well, I'd like to get 2.4.2 back. I don't remember how I got that.
That's in the repo.
The repo's 2.3.2.
So that's way behind.
Yep. But for the longest time, I was using 2.4.2, and I don't remember how.
I bet you can get an app image if they keep some sort of archive.
Is there a flat pack?
There is, but that flat pack is just flaky.
Well, the flat pack takes you right up to the current version.
Yeah.
Well, can't you just sudo apt install?
That one's too old.
Yeah, that's the 2.3.2. And I was on the 2.4.2 is what I'm talking about.
Well, 2.3.2 works just fine.
It kind of does. But there were some cute things I was using in 2.4.
There is one... See, yeah, now I don't have... Okay, well, it's... Let's zoom it in. So, yeah, you zoom it in.
There's our topic. We can bitch about Audacity.
We zoom it in, and I've got no scroll bar. Oh, but then I maximize it, and the scroll bar appears. That's... And then make it windowized, and the scroll bar stays there. So there's your fix. Just maximize it, and it appears out of nowhere.
Huh.
I'm a little irritated.
Yeah, well, I'm a little scared because I tried using it, and it didn't work, and I figured out what I was doing wrong, and I tried it again, and it still found something else that didn't work, and I am not happy.
So there is one feature in the 3.1 onward that I do want, is the new project saving method where it creates an SQLite database. So everything you did is saved in layers instead of a complete
That's good.
nuke and pave. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that. Yeah.
But you got to have all that other garbage along with it, you know. And the magical disappearing scroll bar.
Like I said, this could be a topic.
Yeah.
We can at least bitch about it for 45 minutes or so.
But like I said, Arch, you just don't have these problems because you're getting it up to date, but it's also compiled for whoever it is. It's
my problem with Arch, the best Arch I've installed, where you're using the package itself to do your updates, and after a few months, all of a sudden it's not reading the right repo and the right something, and you can't find anything and nothing updates.
Oh, you've got to update your mirrors periodically.
Well, it should do that when you do updates.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, it doesn't.
It doesn't. I've got that little script I made that I shared in the show a couple weeks ago. It runs this program called Reflector, and that updates your mirror list and picks the 5 most recently updated, and then lists them by speed, and then it updates the database, and then runs all your updates and all that.
Did you guys ever check out Top Grade?
Top Grade.
Yeah, that one guy said he was going to come on. It's an upgrade tool.
Oh,
it's called Top Grade. One of our people that we interviewed had actually recommended it, and I tried it out, and it actually is pretty good, at least on Mint.
well,
And it'll go through your flat packs, your app images, your apt, and just update it all.
Well, I ran ArcOD for about 4 months happily until I noticed that the last month I hadn't gotten any updates.
Yeah, you've got to update that mirror list occasionally because it comes down, the mirror list comes down as a package, and then you have to go in there and enable the ones. Unless you use some of the Endeavor tools. If you're using Endeavor, then you use their what's called Easy Mirror or Reflector Easy or something like that.
I have tried Endeavor on at least 7 occasions, and it always screws up my grub. I was going to use the F word, but this is a family show. It always makes my grub look like a pile of crap.
It's a family show. Later on, I'm going to gather the kids around the fire, and we're going to listen to a Linux podcast. There are probably people that do that. I probably shouldn't make fun.
Linux at night, right?
Let's see.
I haven't listened to Joe Resington since he kicked me off his Discord channel.
Sorry, my puppy gets on my keyboard sometimes.
Is that who put all those periods? Blame the dog.
I was like, what are you talking about? And I looked up, there it was. Like, oh, okay. I'm just trying to make you some notebook paper to write on. I'm looking at this Top Grade right now. And it...
what does it work in?
Apparently everything. Because there's an AUR package, so it must work with Arch.
Is that it? Put it in public.
Let me go look at it.
It works in NixOS and Homebrew on macOS, or at least that's in the installation instructions. Let's see if it's in the
Notch.
See, I don't. My update script is fine. I just would like to make it more complicated. I'd like to make it to where it looks to see if you have all the necessary tools to do it, and then if it doesn't, go and do a little bit of wget magic and then install these things.
Well, I am getting upset enough with Mint, and Mint has always been my go-to when I needed to get stuff done. But you don't go to a distro like Arch that breaks when you try and do regular updates.
Use my upgrade.
Exactly.
Script.
That's why I brought it up.
Gosh dang it. Let's get on with it.
I'm just going back 10 minutes in the conversation to remind you how we got here.
Okay. Well put. I digress. I'm still kind of interested in this top grade, though. Keeping your system up to date using multiple package managers. Well, I mean, it's still, this is an Arch thing. This looks like just a prettier, more fancy version of what I'm doing.
I'm also curious, OpenMandriva is coming out with version 5 soon. And, I always try and use Mandriva if I can. I've never been able to use it as much as I use Mint. There's always been some things that aren't working right for me. But it's gotten so much better since 3.3 on. 3.03, I guess it was.
In the past, I would try to go to other distros and just keep finding myself going back to Arch, just because you just don't have any of the problems that I'm used to having with Arch. You're always up to date. Now, if you let it go, then you're going to have problems. And then like what you was describing, I don't know if they don't do a good enough job explaining that there is actually 3 parts to keeping the system up to date. If after a while, and it might not be such an issue if you're updating it all the time, because you would be able to pull the mirror list package if you were updating it all the time, and then the mirror list would update, and then you would be able to update from there. But if you let it go past that, then you won't have access to the package anymore, because the mirror list, you were trying to connect to a mirror that wasn't running on the same level or whatever that you were connected to it before. I'm sure that's a terrible way to describe it, but
OpenMandriva has changed their naming process. They had, with 4.1, they had come up with their rolling version, and so they had rock for stable and rolling for the rolling version. And they've changed rolling to Rome, all capital letters.
So is that KDE Plasma?
Oh, yeah. They did come up with a alpha I looked at using LXQT, but it didn't work very well.
I'm
there
not a
was
huge
some
fan.
serious... Well, they know how to run QT.
Yeah.
I can see them going to LXQT for a light version. But there were some things that didn't do right, and that's why they made it an alpha.
I like how they made this look like Windows 11. I wonder if they're using a Windows 11 style menu, because you can get that on Plasma. There's a plug-in for it that's got the Windows 11 style menu, which I don't hate. I'll be honest with you. They did away with those stupid live tiles that I could never.
What audio interface are you using, Bill?
It's the Xtug E22.
Okay, because I was looking at this Behringer Euphoria UM2 USB audio interface.
There, as long as it's 192 kilohertz, it's fine. This Xtug is probably the cheapest one on there.
How much?
Like $60.
And this one's like 40.
Oh.
But I'm looking to see. Here, let me post it.
Okay.
And you can tell me where I'm wrong.
You are very likely not wrong.
Well, it happens all the time, believe it or not.
Oh.
I love the download link. It says go to Rome. Yes, I'm still on OpenMandriva.
Okay.
Don't move off of topics very quickly.
Audio file 48 kilohertz resolution.
That might be why it's cheaper. I don't see why. I don't see why that wouldn't be good enough.
When I open Mandriva, it says LX 4.3.
LX 4.
Yeah, it's still 4.3, but I think 5 is in beta now. You have to be really committed to get the alphas and betas for Open Mandriva. But 4.3 is definitely going to be the last. When you got 4.1 and moved it to rolling, it listed itself as 4.5, but that was just to keep their servers from getting confused what version you're running. Yeah, I keep up on it, but I don't use it. I use it long enough to see whether I can use it or not, and then I take it off the system.
Yeah, I was like distro hopping a lot, so I even used the PC Linux OS.
Yeah, I'm looking for something to review this time. I might just cop out and do KDE Neon because I'm sure we haven't done an actual review of Neon, at least not for a few years. But we're talking a different show now, so let's get back to mintCast.
Have we picked a topic yet?
No.
Even used
I
solid
suggested
Escape.
griping about Audacity. Nobody wants to talk about Audacity.
Oh, sure, I'll talk about it. Except I don't.
I don't know if it's a whole show.
It would be if we knew like all of the real minute ins and outs of it, you know.
Well, they've really made a lot of mistakes since MuseScore bought them.
Here's the one I got.
We could at least go over that one. Yeah.
There's the one I got that I'm on right now. And it's currently unavailable. That's why it's not coming up in the search. But I'm looking to buy this 4-input thing. For those who don't know, I guess we're going to be at the Mid-America Truck Show, 3 Fat Truckers. We've bought the booth and everything. That's going to be...
Where?
It's in Louisville, March 30th through April 2nd. And, yeah.
Probably not something that my wife and I would be that interested in going to, even with you there.
I don't know. I've never been there. I just know that we're going to go there and we're going to act like big shot podcasters in the trucking industry. And, God, like my imposter syndrome isn't hitting me hard enough already.
Right.
Bill, you're doing great.
Oh,
imposter syndrome is a very serious thing, man.
it is. It's real.
I know. I've had it all my life.
I got this voice.
I refer to it more often as a case of the almosts. Like I'm almost good enough to be all the things that people keep saying I do well.
I just got
no,
this
you
voice.
got the wrong guy. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. I got this voice like, who do you think you are? You trying to be some big shot going on the internet talking about things. People are
Get off my lawn.
People are going to hear what you're saying. You're embarrassing yourself. Go to work.
But you're doing the work,
out.
Bill. That's the main thing.
When's your next mistake going to smack you in the face?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I've had a lot of those, let me tell you, and some of them are still smacking me in the face.
Well, yeah, I get things wrong. I make mistakes. I try and do my research, but sometimes that memory glitches and it's faulty. And
Respawn, I've already reviewed those. I could not actually get Solid K to install. There are some major bugs in the system, but Solid X ran pretty well. I kept trying to get Solid K. I got an older version of Solid K to run, and I reviewed that.
LXLE.
Solid X and Solid K were based on LMDE2.
Well, let's see.
All right, I can't research a topic if I don't have a topic to research.
Let's get a topic.
Mom's ready. All right, guys. I gotta go.
All right, we'll hit you up.
All right, talk to you
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, we'll
See you, man.
See you, Joe.
Right here. I want you to do this. Set aside your opinions and just do this one. Because I think there's still value.
Huh. Well, the guys that wrote it said there's no value. They moved on.
Wrote what?
LXLE? Oh, the LXDE desktop.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is based on LXDE. It still gets security patches. It's just what you would consider feature complete.
Yeah, well, that's like we couldn't get Ubuntu Unity as an official flavor until Rudra proved that he could actually do the desktop as well.
Which makes the case. If somebody would put more interest in this desktop, I still love LXDE because it is. If you need to build a bare minimum system with all of the elements that somebody would need to get on with, you didn't need a lot of flashiness, then LXDE is still a fantastic choice.
Yeah, it's only been the last year that LXQT could even do all the things that LXDE was doing. And I kept reviewing the new light versions using LXQT, and I'm going, but it's not even doing all the stuff that you're used to doing on a desktop.
Exactly. So, LXDE doesn't really run by itself. None of them really do, but it's more evident with LXDE because you have to install OpenBox. Well, you could use anything. But if
you're reviving an old PC, there are a whole lot of distros still out there. If you're doing 32-bit, there's Bodhi. Yeah. They've got 5.1 on Debian, and they've got 6.0 beta running Debian. No, 5.1 is using old Ubuntu. 6.0 beta is running Debian.
I wonder.
And they are going to finish that.
I like Bodhi. I really like Bodhi, and I've given it to a couple people, and they've gotten on just fine with it.
They started work on 6.1. They did an alpha with Moksha, and they did a beta with Enlightenment, but they're just working on 7 for the most part now. Now that 2204 is out, they just dropped 6.1, and they're still working on 6 for the 32-bit, but for the 64-bit, they're working on 7. And I like them so much, I'm giving them $5 a month. So there.
Hey, I mean that's what I'm talking about with open source and Linux is value for value, you know. And especially when it's a tool we're using to make this show, or it's a tool you're using to have content for another show, you know.
I told Wiley I'd keep giving him $5 a month until my distribution runs out.
That reminds me, I need to download a copy of Ubuntu Unity because I've not tried the new version yet.
I haven't either, but I've had so many problems with 2204. Well, I guess the new ones, I'm going to wait for 2210 to become official. To become non-beta.
Well, then you're riding that train all the way to the end of the tracks of
until 2404. Yep.
Yes. So I don't know.
But I keep in pretty constant contact with Rudra. He is a good kid.
Well, the 2210 beta for Ubuntu Unity, and it's just called Ubuntu Unity now, not Unity Remix.
It's official.
And their website is sharp.
And Cinnamon is trying to get there. Ubuntu Cinnamon Remix is trying to get there.
Yeah, I just install Mint, you know?
Well, but it isn't the same.
No, it's not. But I mean, you're not giving anything up to go to Mint is the point.
Snap.
Okay, you can install snaps.
You can install them, but if you go with Ubuntu, you got Snap.
Yeah, and you got ZFS too. Do we have ZFS support on Mint? Let me try. I'll know because if I try to install ZFS...
Heck, we don't even have Wayland support on Mint yet. So that's another thing you
exactly blow my skirt up.
Well, maybe
After
not, but
installed,
it
yeah.
is something that you can't get, and you can on Ubuntu Cinnamon.
Okay, so you do have ZFS. Actually, right out of the, I didn't even need to install ZFS utils on Mint. It's just there. It's in tree. We've got it. Snaps. Yeah, you gotta remove that silly.
Well, let me point out that we did have a full innards interview with the guy that's doing Cinnamon, Ubuntu Cinnamon.
Oh,
That might have been before you came on, but yeah, we had him on the show. Hey, Bill, you're moving up the charts too.
am I?
Yeah.
Well, gee whiz.
Have you seen the?
I have not. I've not looked at that chart at all. Just when you've shared it.
Let me see here. Well, I should have it right here on my system for that matter. Since I do it on my system and then upload it. Speedy Gonzalez, documents, free podcasts, mintCast, hosts. Do I have the latest? I've got 397. That's the latest. Bill, you're at 18 right now, which puts you in 18th place.
Huh. I suppose that ain't bad. I'm not even been on there a year yet.
The next person that passes at 23, Art Vanderhoff. Then Cy King and Norbert at 26, but Norbert will probably go up. And then Bo at 27. So you're only 9 shows away from Bo.
Wow. I think I got that licked.
And that'd be 14th place. So you're at 18th now. Well, you're in tie for 18th, but since Josh Lowe is no longer on the show, I moved the active person ahead of the inactive person.
Yeah.
And I'm moving up a bit too.
Oh.
I'm at 75. Joe Ressington and Harrison are at 78, and Leo's at 80.
Ooh.
5 more shows, I'll catch Leo.
Yeah, because I don't know if Leo's going to come back or not. I'd like to see him come back.
Well, the one thing about Leo, and I love him, and he did a great job of running the show. He didn't want to admit he was running the show, and he really was. And so the more credit I gave to Leo, the more he pulled away from the show. And I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's happy with Linux user space.
Maybe he didn't want to set everybody up for a disappointment or something. I don't know.
Maybe he's got imposter syndrome.
I think a lot of people do. I think more people have it than they admit. I don't mind telling you.
You realize Joe has done 22 more shows than Leo.
Huh.
Almost a whole year. There's 26 shows in a year.
All right, topic. This would be a lot easier if people would write into the show and tell us what to talk about, and then we just do that.
Well, since I never see the email, I don't even know if there is any.
I mean, there's 1,000 ways people could hit us up. Hey, why don't you guys talk about such and such? I think we're gonna have shows come out more reliably now because I've learned how to do the publishing correctly. So
that's good.
Yeah. It's a lot. That's
plus the fact if Rio gets it, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, I've got high hopes about her. I really, really do.
We got 2 other people saying, "Hey man, I'll do it. You got anything for me?" And I go, "Well, you a little bit late in the door, son." Yeah.
You see, it just in my mind it requires a level of commitment because we would have to we'd have to give you keys to the kingdom, you would be, and I don't want to just give that kind of thing away lightly to somebody.
I will point out that we have not really gotten a commitment from Rio yet. We just heard her say, "Yeah, that was fun. I want to do it again."
Okay. Well, Rio, if you're listening, we would like a commitment. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, we haven't had a full-time audio editor since OK Peary.
Yeah, it would really be nice to be able to focus just on the show.
Not just enthusiasm.
Yeah. It'd be nice to be able to just focus on the show and create the content, not have to worry about, some of that stuff, because it does create points of contention. It works us against each other. It creates friction.
It'd be nice for us not to be yelling at Norbert all the time.
Yeah, and that's friction that we could do without, really, honestly, because when it comes out in the show, it feels, and it is unprofessional and
well, I will say that the show I did as a 2-man show with Norbert went very smoothly.
I was worried. I'm not gonna lie.
I was worried myself.
I was like, okay, so maybe because I thought I was thinking on one hand maybe Moss will behave because.
What was I going to do? Kick him off the show and do it myself?
Right, exactly. But it seemed
it
to
was
go
like
good.
what?
What's that? Yeah, it
didn't hear you, Respawn. Now we don't hear you at all, Respawn.
Must not have real good connectivity.
We miss you, Respawn. You're not even gone yet.
We're glad you're here. Yeah. I would love
Is Londoner on anywhere?
Was he still moving?
Oh yeah, he probably is.
Yeah, he might not be set up in his new place or whatever yet. So
yeah, I'm worried about my moving because we don't even have any ghost of an idea when or where or what. We don't even know what we're doing yet to procure a house and financing for it. We keep doing wishful thinking and we don't have anyone to hold our hand and tell us, yeah, you need to do this next.
I got people telling me what to do because I'm in kind of a strange situation with this house, and people have opinions, but there's people involved that don't want to commit to anything. So that's kind of irritating in and of itself. Okay. So
well, they say the first thing to do is get pre-approved for a mortgage, but most of the mortgage lenders around here will only talk to you if you're doing over $100,000 house. Right. And we can't afford $100,000 house, and we are finding a whole lot of really nice $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 houses. And if we can't get a loan for them, then they just go to someone that's buying up real estate.
And that's exactly what's happening around here.
Mm-hmm. And so we need to get someone to hold our hand about going through a process, finding us a lender, and getting us started.
I have never been. My sister down in Kentucky was a self-proclaimed expert at that once upon a time. But
yeah, we have managed to get our savings to where if we had to, we could come up with maybe $5,000, more like $4,000.
But you don't want to pour your entire savings into it either.
That's true, but for first-time buyers, they frequently have 3% down payments, not 20%. We'd love to have $12,000 so we could do a 20%, but that's not happening. And we would have to get that money. I would have to clear out my stocks, and they're in a low point right now. This week was weird. We had one down day, 2 up days, and then 2 down days for a net loss. If I'd have cashed out August 11th, we would have been our best. I would have lost money, but I would be about $3,000 ahead of where I am right now. $300 ahead of where I am right now.
We had kind of a crazy up month where I feel like taking it all out and waiting because it feels like bottom's going to drop out.
I don't know why it dropped out yesterday. They got good economic news, and the market went, okay, we're out.
It's so irritating because you don't even what rules are you people going by? It's so weird.
I mean, heck, it even looks like Ukraine is winning their war. That should be up news.
Boy, what's
As
gonna
long
happen?
as Russia doesn't drop the bomb,
Let me tell you what I know. So I served right when the wall came down, and so a lot of back room arms deals were made, arms liquidation deals were made when that happened, and we agreed to get rid of our nukes in Germany if Russia would get rid of their nukes in Turkey. So they sent guys over to inspect our sites, and they were a bunch of partying drunks. So we got them drunk, and one of the things that they admitted to was that the Soviet era nukes that the world was so afraid of had a 50% reliability rate. Now, that does not mean they had a 50% chance of hitting their target. That meant they had a 50% chance of making it out of the silo before detonating. Okay?
Damn.
So, I think...
Well, that's why you use a ground nuke. You ship it somewhere and explode it.
So I realize nowadays it's all about the submarines and all that. I hope to God that if he shoots something, that we've got enough ways of knocking it out of the sky before it gets anywhere to hurt anybody.
Yeah, well, Reagan wanted to do that, and it didn't work very well, so we stopped that program.
Yeah, well, that was stupid. I mean, something that actually works. That was a politically charged topic, Star Wars. I remember, I was a kid, but I remember them talking about that all the time, and people were just it was just such a point of contention, and it was really a lot of theory more than anything, and these companies wanted just ungodly amounts of money just to throw stuff up in the air and see if it would work. It was really, these companies wanted to try new technologies that they had no idea whether or not it was something that was actually going to go up there and stay in space. Like, can you imagine 1983 style lasers going up in space and shooting something out of the air down here in the lower atmosphere, I don't know.
Laser is actually a better bet than throwing another missile at it. Because if you miss by an inch, you miss.
Yeah, now where's that missile going? Now we're going to have to send another one up there to get that one out of the sky, too. Oh, well. Yeah, so I really hope I want to hope that Putin, in some way, cooler heads will prevail, but every time we've ever thought the guy wasn't crazy enough to do the next terrible thing, he did it. And I don't think losing that war is part of his narrative.
Some people in Russia, higher echelons, are starting to talk bad about him and not getting arrested and killed or jailed. So there is a chance he may not be in power long. On the other hand, we heard all the rumors a year ago that he had terminal colon cancer or something like that. I wish that was true, but it doesn't appear to be.
He's already outlived.
And you know how bad things are when I'm wishing someone was sick.
At some point you got to accept that, when you are such a bad person that the entire world would be a better place if you were gone. I mean, maybe you could be forgiven for hoping for things like that. Because the guy, I'm not going to put him on the level as Hitler or anything like that, but he's definitely a bit of a scourge. I wonder sometimes, though, how we would act if Texas all of a sudden decided they weren't going to be part of the country anymore.
Well, it would hurt Texas pretty badly.
I don't think
Because
we would work all that hard to get them back either.
well, yeah, but think of all the jobs they'd lose from all the military
Oh.
bases.
Yeah, and they well, now all of a sudden they're going to have to pay for their own stuff, and they're going to have to deal with us as a separate country. And
well, at least we won't have to worry about cutting them off the electricity grid.
That's why I wanted to say when I was talking about the NextCloud, and Joe was like, "Well, what if your power goes out?" I wanted to say, "No, Joe, this is not Texas."
Not Texas, no.
I thought, I'll let that go.
Well, like I said, I would strongly consider setting up a machine here to mirror that, so that we have got a backup.
Yeah, I think even if we didn't, I mean, I'll have the storage backup. I'll always have a cold storage ZFS backup periodically, like once a month or something like that. And then if you wanted to tar something, if you wanted to do, we could work out some kind of.
Can we feather it too?
Yeah, that was the same thing. Tar and feather something.
Great minds think alike, Respawn.
Yep.
And so do we.
I think just power outage. If a power outage happens, then I'm not going to be on the show anyway. So what's the point?
You thought about a generator?
I could do that. I just don't think a power outage is really a reason to. I think that's a sacrifice worth making just to get the hell off of Google.
I do too, but until Joe agrees, and
I'm not going to push the issue until I had to send one of those disk drives back to Seagate for warranty, and then once that one comes back, I'm sending the other one because it started giving me I/O errors yesterday.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think.
But we also have to get some experience working on the NextCloud software that we'd be replacing Google with.
I think it's as far as like running the documents and just navigating the files, there's no barrier to entry whatsoever. And in fact, it's actually a few levels simpler because you don't have this concept of, well, we've got the audio folder that is shared to us, but it's actually sitting on somebody else's Google account, but they happen to be part of the mintCast thing, so we have access to it. No, this is the folder is sitting in the mintCast group folder at root, and then I set up on the list the names of the people that have access to that, and then of those people who have administrative access to it, meaning people that can go in and change things. And then if we need, the other elegant thing that I like, you remember when we had, I don't think you were on the show, we had, gosh, what's his name, from Switch to Linux.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay.
Good old what's his name?
Yeah, good old what's his name?
I knew him.
Tom. Gosh, I apologize. He needed to upload his file, and he did not have a Google account, which is kind of what you got to have in order for us to give them access to upload files to our Google Drive. He didn't have a Google account.
Well, if you wear enough tinfoil, you want to already be off Google.
It's just, that's something that we would require, without the NextCloud. With the NextCloud, all I need to do is set up a file drop link. I open up the folder where I want it to go, and then I go over here to the share, and I can set up a one-time use file drop link, and then I can send that link to him on Discord or wherever. It's just a link that opens up the page where he just drops in the file, and then done. And then we don't have to worry about managing his permissions after the fact. It's a more elegant solution.
there is another problem besides what happens if your power goes out. What if you go out?
Yeah, the old
This is why I would like to have it mirrored. But I really can't do that until we get a house and move, you know?
what I would the something happens to me, what I would prefer happen is somebody come here and get this server and take it somewhere and do what you want with it.
And that somebody would have to know exactly what is involved in the server.
Yeah.
And where your house is.
Yeah. That's what I would prefer, even if you did have a backup, because this would still be the place where the physical, usable storage is sitting, and it's built, it's purpose built for mintCast, and nothing else. I mean, I do back up my stuff to it. All of my family photo. Well, yeah, it does have that on it. I don't know. We can come up with solutions as we go.
Well, I would, like I say, I have a potential solution, but I'm not set up to do it yet. So
yeah,
we don't want to leave it with
more.
Joe, because if he puts a server in his garage, it's still Texas.
Oh yeah, it needs to be. Yeah, these servers down here stay nice and cool, especially in the winter. Right now, I got my heater on behind me.
Right now, we have 10 houses that we are looking at on Zillow, and 5 of them are in Decatur, Illinois, because that's where we found our best prices for good houses.
Boy, you talk about in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it might be middle of nowhere, but there's a convention that I would like to go to every year that we will be going to this year that's in Normal, and that's just right up the road.
Yeah, that ain't far.
We'd be closer to the conventions in Indianapolis and Detroit and Chicago. There might be some in St. Louis. I don't know if I want to go into St. Louis.
We've got a couple of customers in Decatur. Oh, all right. Topic.
You'd be surprised how many really nice looking houses, at least in the pictures they have online, you can get for under $50,000 in Decatur.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing I noticed about Decatur and DeKalb and those places, they got a huge immigrant population.
Mm-hmm.
And those towns are kind of set up for long distance commuting into Chicago. So they got high-speed railways set up to them in a lot of places. Which is not as common in the United States as it is in European countries. We don't have a lot of those 700-mile-an-hour trains over here.
Yeah. Reminds me, I was shocked yesterday. I taught science class yesterday, and in my 4th period class, I actually had an Indian boy from Gujarat.
Ooh.
And, of course, he was shocked that I even knew what Gujarat was. And someone asked, what language do they talk? And I go, Gujarati. And he goes, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, around here, there aren't too many people to talk Hinduism to. And I'm just one of those weirdos that has gotten into some aspects of it along the way.
Do you speak it well enough to...
I don't speak any of the languages. I tried to learn Tamil, and I'm the type of person that has to have someone to speak to actually learn something. Gee, there I am in black and white. How would I get either that or so? I guess it's color, but it's not as colorful as what's on my screen.
Oh, crap. What happened?
You switch cameras. There we go.
Heck. I must have accidentally hit the... I've been playing around with this. That's my old flicker green camera that I've been playing around with.
But still, it was nice to even talk to anyone about something like that. and got a couple of the other kids in the class interested in it. And so they learned something that they didn't expect to learn in a science class.
Learning is learning. You know what I mean? Whenever you're expanding your thinking, you're adding to yourself. And there's value in that. And I'd say you did a really good job that day.
And we have 2 weeks off. It's fall break.
Well, we need a topic. How about...
I could just do a concert.
Little background music, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't.
No, foreground music.
Like, oh yeah, like in your face. Yeah.
Well, my stuff is all about the lyrics, man.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't do music, but I'm singing stuff that if you know what I'm talking about is going to hit you in the face.
My son is about that. My oldest son is a staunch socialist.
And I could do union songs. I got a whole bunch of union songs I could do, man.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever actually worked in a union, but he's full-on socialist. He's all about...
You will eat by and by in that glorious land in the sky. Work and pray, live on hay. You'll get pie in the sky when you die. That's the lie.
Well done. Bravo.
That was Joe Hill, man. That goes way back.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to announce in the Discord and on the Telegram that we need a topic for the next show, and I'm going to... Why don't we pick something that the community gives us? You know what I mean?
Well, the problem with that is when I go on Distro Hopper's Digest and say I need a distro to review, I get Chaos and Parrot and...
Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that would be a problem on a show like that where, I mean, you've got a specific list. I mean, it's a huge list, but it's still a specific list of things.
Yeah, everyone wants me to do Arch and pin testing distros, and I'm going, but that's not what I do, people. Give that stuff to Dale, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would like to see what the community has to say.
Let's find out what they have to say, and we can reject it all.
We respectfully reject everyone's opinions and desires.
We have learned this week that our listeners have crap fruit brains.
Just a quick disclaimer, Moss's opinions are his own and do not reflect that of mintCast or its subsidiaries.
We have subsidiaries?
And read the fine print under.
Well, anyhow. I guess I get to go find out how badly we won. Let's see.
Who are you rooting for again? Tennessee what?
Tennessee. It's UT Knoxville, but it's just University of Tennessee.
Okay. I put it on Discord and Telegram. I assume, is that our biggest social base for the show?
Discord and Telegram, yeah.
Yeah. Now on Three Fat Truckers, it is Facebook. Like it or love it. The good news is I don't have to get on there very often because Dave and Steve are on there all day long.
Oh boy, did you see what Texas did to Oklahoma? Oklahoma already had 2 losses this year, and they're screaming about firing the coach, and then they go play rival Texas. Texas 49, Oklahoma 0. Oh,
What?
there we go. Final, Tennessee 40, LSU 13.
Happy now?
Yep, we're 5-0. Next week we have to play Alabama, but it's here. That if we, the last time we went 4-0 to start the season was the last year we beat Alabama. So it's been a while.
All right. Well, I think we've pretty much peeled this onion to the bottom layer.
Is that why I'm crying?
I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream.
Thank you, people,
Yep,
if there were any.
If you were here, we have 4 views. So 1 concurrent view.
You get to hear my upper lip flap, huh?
It's probably not as obvious as you might think it is.
No.
I mean, we're always going to be more critical of ourselves. Anyway, thanks for watching.